Get ready to crush it. Crush it.
Yeah.
This is the Crush It Podcast with Matt and Mason.
Welcome back to another very special episode of the Crush It Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Davis, along with the co-host, Mr. Mason Burchett.
Hey, you know what?
Hey.
Happy anniversary to
Happy
us.
anniversary
Happy
to us.
anniversary.
Did you get me anything?
Happy anniversary.
Okay, all right. We are
to
moving
you.
right on. It's been 3 years, dude.
Happy anniversary.
3
to
years
you.
since we released our first episode of the
Happy
Crush It
anniversary,
Podcast. So many people
dear Crush It
rolled their
Podcast.
eyes 3 years ago
Happy anniversary.
and said, these losers are never going to keep this going. And here we are, 3 years later, still arguing, still getting on each other's nerves.
Yep.
Exhibit A.
Yeah.
And there's a few people that are still listening.
Unbelievable.
3 years later.
Unbelievable that
What?
you people have nothing better to do with your lives.
Yeah, y'all should go do something.
Then it just goes to show that people will listen to anything. But you know what? We do appreciate you.
Did we just insult 3 years worth of listeners?
Dude, I can't
This
believe
was not a good business strategy.
I can't believe it's been 3 years.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely
It's like I said
nuts.
when we sat down, like it feels like it's been 2 months and 20 years.
Yeah.
But-
yeah, absolutely. I totally get what you mean. And you're
use
right.
the mic,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
We still don't totally know what we're doing. So, we're
We
still
just keep
we're still
coming
figuring
back,
that out.
sitting in front of these mics.
I
and
will
we
say
talk.
we have a much
talk.
better sound now than we did. The sound has evolved
Yeah.
over the years,
Yeah.
up, down,
As we've put more money into it,
put more money into it. And the best is yet to come.
no doubt.
But thanks guys for hanging out with us for 12. I don't think 12 years.
But
3 long years.
You can
and-
edit that out and use it in 9 years.
Okay. And anyways, we've got my kids screaming in the background and a special
love
episode
it.
for you guys today.
Yeah, so this was an idea that came up, I guess, probably about a month ago. We were like, hey, we got 3 years coming up. What are we going to do? And we had this thought. Why don't we go back to episode? We've been doing these reaction videos.
Right.
And we thought, why not, man? Let's go back and listen to our
Us.
first episode.
Let's listen to us.
Probably repeat some stuff. Probably make fun of some stuff.
Right.
But just so you know, we pulled this up and saw that our first episode was 37 minutes long.
We're going to do a condensed version
Yeah,
here.
we should have shut up. We'll
Yep.
just start by that,
Yep.
by saying that. What's funny is when we recorded that first episode, we were like, oh my gosh, it's going to be bad. We're going to have to restart like 6 times. We don't know what we're doing. We're probably going to mess up. We're going to have to edit it like crazy.
Right.
And we couldn't shut up.
Yeah, we
we
just-
just kept talking. We're like, oh, this is way too long.
And we haven't shut up for 3 years.
Here we are,
So-
still not shutting up. So let's dig in.
We're going to dig in.
We're
here,
going to cut
guys.
it down, is what I was saying. We're not going to do the full.
We're not going to.
37
Yeah, we're not
minutes.
going to murder your brains.
We'll edit some of this out. We like to space out murdering your brains.
This first episode was called Mindsets.
Yep.
It's one of our most listened to episodes.
Yep.
And it's also probably one of the topics that we've referenced the most.
Yeah.
In
Really,
our
really,
entire
everything's
platform.
kind of been built around what we talk about in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously shows that's what was on our mind when we started this whole venture. Huh?
Mind? Look at you.
Mindsets. So, guys, without further ado, this is going to be a little bit of a mind, twist. I don't know. I was trying to think of a
I don't know, maybe a
non-swear word
good
there.
mind reset for us, going back to the roots.
I mean, as far as processing this, because you're about to hear our voices
Oh, yeah.
talking in the first episode, and then you're going to hear us like pause and react.
Should we do special voices for this? Like, so let's dive in and try to keep up.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
Shout out to those ads, the pre-roll ads.
We just rolling ads and all.
Bear with us here.
No,
Please, guys,
we don't listen to our episodes.
don't
just
skip those ads, okay?
Please don't.
We make money off those.
ChumbaCasino.com.
We're up like 38 cents.
Yeah.
So
Necessary, void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice of the preceding commercial was
this is epic.
Do you guys listen to this?
That concludes our
Welcome back
episode.
to the Crush. No, welcome back. You've never been here. It's because we've done this so much. Let's mark it.
I remember
Oh, that was our intro.
I remember
Right,
this.
yeah.
This was our first
We
intro.
were like, hey, let's make that our intro. Music slaps a little bit.
Kind of slaps.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Crush It Podcast, a discussion about how to crush your obstacles instead of letting them crush you. I got Matt Davis here with me. I'm Mason Burchett. We are the hosts of the Crush It Podcast. And Matt, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing, what this podcast is all about. Hit it.
All right, guys. So we're super excited about bringing this.
Can I just say that I hate this? I hate it.
Now you know how depressed you sound. 3 years worth of working through his depression.
Welcome back to the Crush It Podcast, where we talk about being excited about life.
How to crush your
Not-
obstacles
not-
instead of letting them crush you. All right, let's go.
Podcast to you. We're going to talk to you about failures. We're going to talk about success, the ups and downs.
Ooh, and I've got a lot of those to talk about still. So
Journey that we're on, trying to make it in life, reach our goals, reach our dreams, and make them a reality. So super excited about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, be bringing some people in, talking to them, and talk about how
did
we're
that.
just crushing
We
it
have.
on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, so Matt and I are both young entrepreneurs. We're out in the business world, working just like you guys are. And
Just like
we just want to kind of share some of the stuff
So
that we're
relatable.
working through, some of the stuff we see, some of the stuff we face, and we want to bring, like Matt said, some guests on that have different perspectives. Get a lot of different perspectives from people all throughout.
perspective.
We're gonna
How
have
many-
a lot of
How many
perspectives.
times can I say perspective?
We're going to get a lot of perspective in this show, guys.
World, all throughout different industries, and kind of see how their successes and their failures can help you learn.
Right,
their
because here's the
perspective.
thing: many times in this industry, whether you're in different industries, whether you're in sales,
This one.
What industry is
This
that?
industry. You know, this one.
The industry of life.
you're in retail, whatever the case is, so many times we get our mindsets in that there's a certain box that we got to fit in, and a lot of times there's just one single perspective. We find one person we follow.
perspective.
But the reality is, guys, there's no guideline.
Okay,
There's
I'm going to do this for you one day.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to have a full
reality
episode of you just saying, the reality is.
Yeah. I'm a big reality guy.
I'm pretty sure you say that on an average of 5 times per episode.
I feel like 5 is probably very generous.
It probably is.
certain way that things have to be done. There's a lot of guys, me and Mason, we follow different guys out there who have different perspectives on a lot of things. And
A lot of
that's
perspective.
on a lot of different things, and that's really good. It's good for us.
The reality
to
is
see
there's a lot of
perspective
perspectives.
one guy against the perspective of another, because what might work for me might not work for Mason, and vice versa. And so we're really excited about over the next little
think
while
we're
being able
excited.
to bring people in and try to help you guys, because one of the greatest things in my life has been the mentors that I've been able to look to, who have gone through the struggles, who've had the failures, because nobody's had success without failures. And so I think that the perspective that we're going to be able to bring from a personal basis, and then those that we're bringing in, I think it's going to add a lot of
Will you please
value
shut up?
I'm trying.
to what you guys are
I
going
want
through.
to. I promise.
Yeah, and so Matt,
turn.
today we're going to talk a little bit about mindsets. Me and you were talking over lunch involving mindsets in business, but really in life, right?
Right,
And,
right.
and success in life, in your mood, and how big a deal that your mood and your mindset plays into the family side of it, the business
for
side
sure.
of it, all of that. But before we jump into that, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, give a little bit about your background, what
More
you've been doing.
stuff about
Okay.
us. Like,
Do I sound this redneck in real life? Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Giggity giggity.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think honestly, I think we both do. Like, I don't really think I sound hick until like I go other states. People are like, "Oh dear God,
Like,
where are you from?"
are you talking to me?
Are you making?
He's trying to tell us something.
But kind of where I started at a very young age. At the age of
We all
15.
did.
I was born at a very young age.
Actually homeschool so that I could go to work for my brother-in-law doing roofing, and would get up early every morning, do my schoolwork,
Ex-brother-in-law.
and then work full-time for my brother-in-law because I enjoyed money. And as at 15, 16, 17
all things have
year old, was able
changed.
to go out, make money. At 19, was able to, right before I got married, was able to start my own roofing business and had some success there, have enjoyed that. And then back in 2014,
2014.
got in a car wreck, which at that point took me out of roofing. And I knew that I enjoyed talking to people. And
Let's get to you talking. This is torture.
Took me out of roofing. It took me out.
somebody suggested sales, kind of got into that. I've
Who?
done several different things
Right.
As far as sales go, and now just trying to just doing what I can, where I can. Got a couple things going on.
Was I unemployed?
Make any plugs for the business
Don't
side
plug your personal business.
as of today. But excited about the plans.
That made me
excited
sound
about the
super
future.
unemployed.
I love.
I'm working on some things. I wasn't unemployed. Got some stuff in the works.
I'm laughing.
You know. That was like when you're on a date and the girl's like, so what do you do? Like, just getting into what I can here and there. Got a few things going on. Waiting on my settlement to come in. And then I'm going to invest. I've got some friends that are doing this multi-level marketing. Like, holy cow, I sounded
Yeah. No, do a little bit of this and do a little bit of that.
a little bit of that.
Got something on my sleeve. Can't tell you about it. Just,
It's a secret, man. It's a secret. I don't want to let anything out of the bag.
Oh my God. I don't remember what you were doing. Oh, that's funny.
I remember what I was
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
This
out
is
there
painful.
hustling on the side, but
Do we still
working
sound like this?
full-time as
Yes.
Nice.
well. And I'm married with 2 kids.
We love you
and
guys. Thank you.
Pretty much
Not
this-
one on the way. Like
Not
me.
one on the way,
That we know
thankfully.
Nope.
that we know of yet. Knock on wood.
So Mason's kind of selling it.
Well, we can knock on wood because I've had testicular cancer since then. So those change.
Always a cancer.
You know what? Let's do it.
plug.
Let's do an
Let's
episode
not.
about that.
Let's not.
Self short a little bit, and we'll talk about this probably in a later podcast. We'll get a little bit more detail with this, but
You know what else was going on? My dad was alive.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah.
I definitely
like I said,
remember him.
I've known Mason pretty much my whole life.
Daily.
Mason actually started off with the company that he is now the business development manager.
Correct,
Is that
yep,
correct?
yep.
So he's worked his way up, but he actually started just in the warehouse.
Yeah, I started
right?
stocking trim in our Asheville warehouse.
at the bottom
bottom of the totem pole.
of the totem pole, and over a course of how long you been there?
6 years.
6 years.
Yep.
So over the course of 6 years, has had a lot of success.
I just want to appreciate you repeating everything that I had already said.
No. I was making a point here.
Yeah,
Shut up.
Mason's the business. What is it? As a business development manager? Yeah, I just said that. Over there at Best Buy Metals, you've been there. How long have you been there? 6 years, like I just said. He's been there for 6 years. Had a lot of success.
Watch it. The point I was making there, sir, was that you didn't say you started. You said, this is what I'm doing. This is the company I'm with. But I was pointing out that you had worked your way up from the bottom
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
and then wrote a book on how to
Earned the
make sure you never
respect
get promoted.
Of, the owner, who is a
Which I try to
fantastic
live by.
businessman, really leading the nation in that industry, and
Not really.
doing a great job there. He's earned that respect and worked his way up.
Slide
So
it-
we're gonna get.
slide
I won't
over
get into
self.
that too much right now, but we'll talk.
We
about
already
that,
got into it too much.
at a later podcast. But kind of looking from two different.
Bro, we hadn't
two
even
different
started our
perspectives.
episode yet.
I've had.
We are 20 minutes into this episode.
We're 9 minutes into the actual episode.
God.
And we haven't even
That's
started
one thing we
talking.
fixed. We jump in pretty quick.
Yeah, we get past the formalities pretty fast.
When you train yourself to have a negative mindset, that becomes who you are. And this is what I mean. even when you hear something positive or hear something happy, when you have put
I love to hear
negative
happy
filters
things
in place in your mind about everything in life, everything you do, your job, your spouse, your kids, your parents, where you live, what you do,
What the heck are you talking about?
I don't know. Let's find out.
what you do on the weekends, who you hang out with. When you have put negative filters in your mind about all of those things, even when you get good news, that positive news or that positive statement has to go through all of these negative filters.
I'm going
before
through
you
some
come to a
negative
conclusion
filters.
about
Shut
something,
up,
which
this is
means
good.
typically something that's good loses the power of positivity by the time it goes through your filters, and you have been able to find 3 or 4 different things negative about that situation before it even gets through your thought process.
That's pretty good.
fun of that.
That's
Make fun of that.
That's good. There's a reason this episode is one of our
Yeah.
most popular
Yeah,
episodes.
and we're being really hard on ourselves.
We are.
Because this is who we are. This is what we do. But the reality is, the message we had. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
The truth is, the facts are that there's some good stuff.
There is. That was actually a pretty good monologue that you just gave.
Thank you.
I would support that. As a matter of fact, I think I'll let it stay on our platform.
Well, thank you.
Example of that is if there's somebody that you've never met, or maybe somebody has a negative opinion about somebody. You hear bad stories. You heard they did this person wrong. They did that person. They didn't do this right. You develop a negative mindset about that person, and maybe for good reason, okay? But if there's a person that I've told you nothing
of
but
people
negative
in this
stories,
analogy.
negative stories about them, and then one day I just up and say, hey, this person just did this great thing, and tell you something good they did, that good thing I told you about that person is going to have to make its way through every negative mindset that you have had about that person. And so by the time it's over, you're really not going to be impressed with that good thing because it's gone through all of the negative preconceived ideas you already had about this person. And that is how we live our lives. What we feed into ourselves.
So I think you just took about 6 minutes to say we all have
thank you, Bob.
presuppositions.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Okay. I love how you take the time to pause.
Are we just going to re-record the episode?
And we've all been around that person that's like, just,
We're supposed to talk about it.
I hate being around them. They're negative about everything. Nothing's ever okay. And there's even like you can joke about that. What is it? They say they see a cloud for every silver lining. Just the who was it said? It was one of the famous guys. Said that don't hang around somebody, a negative person. They have a problem for every solution. And we've all been around that person.
I know a few of those.
And I can literally, there are those people that exist in my life, and when I'm around them, it drags me down because they just have a negative mindset.
They're like, why don't you call me anymore?
They do. So it's important that
Honey,
if
shut
you're
up.
if you're gonna have a happy life, you got to turn that around. Okay, you got to make it a positive mindset. When you see the positive, when you take those negative filters and you turn them into a positive.
Were you still in the room?
Were
you even a part of this?
Those things begin to happen more and more in your life. Those positive things, when you see them. Look, there are things in life.
He's not
that
done.
are bad, okay. My dad is coming off a battle with cancer. That is a bad thing. Okay, nobody's gonna sit around and say, "Hey,
He
that's
came
a
off
bad
of it
thing."
all the way, actually.
But we can look at some positive things that have
That's terrible.
come as a result of that in his life, our family coming together and different things like that. And so when we set those positive filters, it really changes our mindset and our outlook on
Yeah, that worked out for you.
It's not really
Changed
about
everything.
good or bad things happening in our life. We've all heard the statement.
I'm not done.
All the time about
quite the
It's not
monologue.
about what happened to you. It's about how you handled and your attitude towards what happened to you.
Again, I told you.
Listen,
It's your fault.
if we're honest,
You told me to talk.
and Mason, me and you could sit here and we could share stories.
You are sharing
Life
them.
stinks sometimes. Like
That's still
like
true.
I would say I would agree with that.
You would agree with that? Okay,
You are
okay,
there.
thank you. Life stinks.
Thanks, now shut up.
Stuff,
I got more to say.
mean, bad things happen. They happen to everybody, okay? But the difference in a successful person and an unsuccessful person is what they do
Success.
when those bad things happen, the attitude that they have when they happen, their outlook on that thing. Okay, I can either sit back and let life happen to me, or I can take charge, and when life happens, I can take that, turn it around, and do something good with it. Use it to grow.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. And I'm going to stop you
professional.
right there because I want to back
I'm
up.
going to
just a
stop
little
you because
bit.
I'm
You were
tired of
talking
hearing you
about,
talk.
How toxic it is to be around people with a consistently negative mindset. Now,
Right.
your energy levels, I think we could both agree, are probably a little higher than mine, right?
I would
don't even know
agree
if that's still true.
wholeheartedly on that.
Slightly higher. I would go so far to say that your energy levels are higher than most.
What did I just say?
I don't know.
I'm going to take it as a compliment.
That's a compliment.
We're going to
It's
roll with a
definitely
compliment.
Well, yeah, sure, it's a compliment.
Okay, let's go.
Anyways, that said, I think most people don't view themselves as that negative person, but we both know they exist.
Yes.
So, what is, I guess, number one? What do you think
You're still asking
are
me
some of the
questions. This is
some
on
of
you.
the pitfalls that people can be wary of that they don't become that person, and then on the backside of that, how can they recognize that they are becoming that person and kind of
Listen to how
flip that
happy I
around?
sound.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because honestly, the large majority of negative people, if you were to look at them and tell them they were negative, they would get so offended
Right.
because they have no idea. They're so blinded by it. One thing I heard say, people talk about being an optimist and a pessimist, and I heard a guy say one time, he said that
What'd he say?
pessimist is just an optimist with more information, and so and that's the mindset a lot of people have.
I gotta take a break.
That's rough. It's not rough. It's just, I think
It's
it's just
fine.
hearing ourselves.
It's fine.
I honestly think that if we were listening to other people say this, we would be enjoying it.
Yeah, we'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I also think this is probably like the fourth time you've been like, it's been said, or I heard a guy say once, like, you're great at remembering the quotes, but bless your heart, you can't remember who said it to save your life. Guy was telling me, it's been said.
Well, sometimes it's people you don't want to give a shout out.
I heard a man say one time,
I heard words at a moment.
it's been said. Hit that play button for us.
Oh my gosh, now you're being lazy.
And listen, your purpose is not to
Of course, it's your dumb butt still talking.
occupy.
You
your
kept
parents'
asking
basement your whole
questions.
life
I did.
Playing video games and never do anything.
I've got some people I grew up with that would beg to differ.
Right. There's a large
I
majority.
think I
of
just
it.
slammed
But look,
video
that's
Yeah, you did.
By the way, if that's how you define your success, that is not okay.
that is not okay, and that's the point.
Oh, this-
that's the point
that
I
was
want to
good
get
stuff.
across.
Yeah.
Is,
Go back and listen to this, guys.
everybody's level.
Yeah, that was when we started talking about defining your success.
Yeah, and that whatever you feel like success is okay.
Pretty
Don't
sure that
be-
was like one of our. We did an episode on that, like somewhere close to this one.
Wasn't that this one? Though? I thought we did it in this one.
I thought we did a whole episode on
We
defining
might have.
success.
We might have. Let's not react to that one though.
Success is different, but
never do
it
this
is-
again, actually.
Success is when you achieve that purpose. So, but you got to figure out what your purpose is, and achieve that in order to reach that success.
Was I
Because
smoking?
I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of people. I've
I've never
lot
been
of
a smoker,
people
but
who
apparently I was at that
live
moment.
miserable lives because they're married to a spouse.
Most people are.
Period.
Right.
All right, they have parents who never had a purpose.
Most people do.
People do.
And that affects the people around you. You have a duty. You have a responsibility. Figure out what your purpose
Don't
is.
be
and get
immature.
busy
He said duty.
achieving it. I don't care what level that gets you to. Do something. All right? Get busy and do something. Whether it's going to work every day, putting into your retirement so you can enjoy your life comfortably one day, that's great. That's fine. Do it. But do something. Find your purpose.
Bringing this conversation, because we're going to have to wrap up here in a minute, bringing this conversation
Probably
back
should have
around
20
full
minutes
circle.
ago.
Yeah.
We're talking about what me and you call defining success. Some people call it goal setting. But what we're talking about is
Episode on that too.
defining success for you, making
Right.
those goals in your life because when you do that, that, I believe is what we're talking about, is the key to keeping yourself from getting in that negative mindset that we started this conversation about.
Right. Because in all reality,
Eskimo kiss the mic.
when you are busy and you're doing something, you're accomplishing something,
That was deep.
it keeps your mind busy.
When you're doing something,
was-
you're doing something.
That was a George Bush. When you're doing something,
You're getting something done.
you're getting something done.
And
That's
if
what
you're
that's all
controlling
about.
what's going in, then it's going to allow you to keep that negative mindset away. One of the most dangerous things for your mind, where negativity will creep in,
Are we boring you?
is an idle mind, when it's not busy, when it's not doing something, and that's so easy to happen. It's so easy to let that happen.
It's happening
and
right
so
now.
It's important. It's important that you define your success,
Yep.
define what it is, and then
Truth.
stay busy and
Yeah, man.
feed that positive mindset. Put good things into your mind. All right, it's just like bodily exercise, man. Like if you
How'd that turn out?
If you want to have a healthy body, there's things you keep out and there's things you put in. All right, but that's not all you do, right? Somebody who is really in good shape, which is not me, but somebody who is in really good shape, they're not only watching what goes in, making sure the right things do go in, but what are they doing? They're exercising.
Right.
They're putting that body to work. Your mind's the same way.
That body to
sure.
work.
You got to keep the bad things out. You got to
that
make
body
sure
to
you're putting the right things in. Put that positivity in. Listen,
And then
Okay,
read
Joel.
books. Now, look, I'm not a big reader. I have a very hard time sitting down and reading. That's why audiobooks
Dude, will
is
you
the
shut?
greatest invention. I love
up.
audiobooks. That's how
Shut up.
I get everything. Okay, it's through an audiobook. Listen to audiobooks. Listen to good podcasts. Keep good things
Like our new
going into your
episodes.
mind, but keep your mind busy. Keep it sharp. Keep it doing those things that are going to cultivate a positive mindset, which is going to cultivate a positive life. And here's what you're going to find. Here's what you're going to find. At the end of the day,
what are we finding, Matt?
when you
finding?
have a positive mindset, it's going to affect the people around you.
Amen. That should wrap it up for the.
All right?
Okay.
It's going to affect how you talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
how you see them, how you react to them, how you care for them.
Mm-hmm.
A positive mindset will change your life. Be careful what you let get in there.
I paused. You had your
Make sure
chance.
I know.
you're
I
working
shoulda
to
cut
put the
you
right
off.
things in and keep it busy. To have a
My
healthy
first episode, I had a lot to
positive
say, man. I was
Got to
excited.
push it.
Got to push it.
Which brings us to the close of this conversation.
I thought we
You
were
know, me
ready.
and you started talking about Crush It and what we wanted to do with Crush It.
Okay, this could be
and this
good.
podcast and a lot of the other things we're working on with this project.
You start talking and you're like, oh,
I'm
this
the
should be
cautious.
good.
We work well together because I'm the cautious one in this partnership, and you're the one.
So
that
what
just-
you're wanting to say is I'm not cautious. That's what you're
Correct.
wanting to
I'm
say.
saying that I'm
Yes.
more cautious than you. But I
I'm
think
100 miles an hour.
You are 100 miles an hour, and I'm one that's like got my
But
foot
not
on the brake.
running.
Right.
And
Was I afraid to offend you at this point or something?
Guess so.
Like on air, maybe?
I guess. Well, we were still finding our identity at this
Interesting.
point.
You can follow
Apparently we
Matt
like
on
talking to each
Instagram
other.
at
Okay, we're just plugging each other at this point, so I'm going
Boom.
to cut that off.
All right.
Look at that.
So we did it. We are very hard on ourselves.
Yep.
We are. Which most people are. But it is cool to hear where the vision started.
Honestly, that is still one of my favorite episodes.
It is because honestly, at that point, and the reason I said it joking a second ago, but it was hard for me to shut up because there was so much we had talked about.
Yeah.
And we were just pouring it all into that episode.
Yeah.
And, in hindsight, it should have been spread out a little bit more, but
Mm-hmm.
it was the passion and the excitement.
Yeah, we've. I was going to say we've learned to focus a little bit more. I think we have.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm also proud of us, dude. Look at us.
Look at us. We did it.
There was a lot of people that thought we were going to put
Speaking of
2 or 3 episodes out
Speaking
and
of
fizzle
doubt,
out.
a lot of people doubted us.
Yeah.
A lot of people
And here we are 3
a
years later,
A lot of people that we
being just
asked
as
to
annoying.
be a part of this
Turned us
turned
down.
us down.
Yep.
Screw y'all.
Yep. Now look at us.
And here we are, man. And that's the thing. Like, it's exciting because we're we're not just doing a podcast, man. This thing's picking up speed. We were talking, we're getting hooked up with some people who are really excited about what we're doing here at the Crush It team.
Yeah.
And we really are just getting started. There's really big stuff that's coming that was birthed out of that episode.
Yeah.
Crazy to think that.
We're certainly not the biggest platform in the world.
No. Yeah.
Even in our space, obviously,
Yeah.
But, when we kicked it off, I really didn't think, we have a radio station that sponsors us now in Cleveland. We're not going to get into the stuff that we've got connected right now.
Right.
With
we want to be careful about some of the stuff, but some pretty big partnerships that we're talking about.
Yeah. And we've had thousands and thousands of downloads.
Yeah.
Over the years. We've had interviews on the news.
Yeah.
We've published 4 of our own books.
Yeah.
We've got online leadership courses and training and more of that stuff coming. We've had Paul and Mark and Adam join the platform. I mean, a lot's happened over 3 years.
Yeah.
And
also pretty cool. There's been a lot of messages, a lot of inbox messages.
Yeah.
People saying thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, this episode, I needed to hear that. I didn't. That perspective really helped. And that's where it really counts.
Yeah.
That's where it really counts, because it's pretty cool to think that, to North Carolina rednecks, can actually help make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And that was our goal. We were like, hey, yes, we want to do this. There's going to be some fun in this. But I do want to shout out to you, because so much of the hard work the last 3 years, the blood, sweat, and tears, a lot. I have a lot of ideas, and you not only have a lot of your own ideas, but you help bring mine to fruition, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see what's happened. So,
well,
appreciate all your hard work the last 3 years.
from the bottom of my heart to you, to our listeners, and from everybody else, I want to say, please hit the freaking subscribe button.
Just subscribe.
If you've listened to this long and you haven't hit the stupid subscribe button, do it
I got a blister on my
now.
man.
Do it now.
Do it now. All right, bro. We are at 43 minutes, and we don't even have Dustin Davis on here.
Well, we're gonna.
This is
I'll
crazy.
edit this down. This will only
Yeah.
be like a 20-minute.
Which we need to get him back on, man. That was a great episode.
That was cool. It was a good episode.
He was the one that we actually made 2 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, so to wrap this up, a couple of housekeeping things here to cover.
Sound like a sales meeting.
Guys, let's wrap this. We're going to bring this back full circle. Everything's 25% off on the website right now.
Happy 3
to
years.
celebrate 3 years. 25% off.
Some really cool new items on there.
Ooh, yeah, the Bluetooth speaker.
Yes. Go buy one.
Sick.
It's fantastic.
So go check out thecrushitteam.com.
You can listen to our podcast through the Bluetooth speaker with the Crush It podcast on.
Oh.
Okay, dear God. All right. Like, subscribe, share, do all the things. We love you guys. Thank you so much for 3 years with these 2 morons. Can't wait to see what's coming in the future. Some cool announcements coming up, so hang tight for those.
Right. I'm going to play my banjo live.
Nope. Love you guys. Crush it.